A mysterious silver sphere just showed up in a crater in Colombia, then a second one was seen flying nearby. In 2007, a meteorite slammed into a Peruvian village, leaving a smoking crater that made hundreds sick with unexplained symptoms and even killed livestock. And back in 1965, a farmer in France came face to face with an oval craft and strange beings that froze him in place, leaving nothing but a scorched crater and dead plants behind. These are lost artifacts found inside meteor craters. So just earlier this year, a mysterious silver sphere was found in a small crater in Buga, Colombia. Now, a second one has also shown up. It was seen flying over a sugarcane field in Yumbo, about 43 miles away. On June 7th, workers spotted it moving in a zigzag through the air. It was fast, hovered close to the ground, and moved like nothing anyone had ever seen. UFO researcher Jaime Musan said the sphere is likely not from here. Musan thinks both spheres are connected. Maybe this new one is looking for the first. He said, "Could we be on the path to contact? That's the extraordinary question we're asking today." The original Buga Sphere, found back in March, weighed around 4.5 pounds. Weirdly, when people touched it, it felt cold like a fridge, but when they didn't touch it, it apparently radiated heat. Some say there's alien writing on it too, or at least what looked like symbols that couldn't be placed. Back in 2007, a meteorite came crashing down near the village of Carancas in southern Peru, not far from the Bolivian border. The exact time was 11:40 a.m. on September 15th, when witnesses saw a bright fireball with a smoky tail streak across the sky before slamming into the ground. The impact was powerful enough to blow out windows at a health center nearly a kilometer away. It left behind a massive crater, about 43 feet wide and 15 feet deep, with boiling water and a thick column of smoke rising from it. Things got really weird from this point on. Within hours after visiting the site, people started getting sick. Over 600 villagers reported symptoms like nausea, vomiting, headaches, and skin irritation. Some livestock nearby also died. A few days later, most people started to recover, but no one could figure out exactly what had caused all this. Peruvian scientists confirmed it was a meteorite, and when researchers analyzed fragments of it, they found iron, nickel, cobalt, and traces of iridium. They also found minerals like kamacite, which only shows up in meteorites. In the early morning hours of July 1st, 1965, a farmer named Maurice Massé was out on his lavender field near Valensole, France, getting ready to start work. It was about 5:45 in the morning. He was just finishing a cigarette when he noticed something coming down from the sky. What he saw was a strange, oval-shaped craft resting on 4 legs, and standing in front of it were 2 small figures, maybe around 4 feet tall. They were wearing tight gray-green suits, had oversized heads, and large slanted eyes. Massé said they were making a weird grumbling sound. Before he could turn around and get the hell out of there though, one of them raised its arm and pointed some sort of device at him, and suddenly he just couldn't move. The beings then got back inside the craft and took off. Massé said it took him about 20 minutes to get his movement back. When he looked at the spot where the object had landed, there was a deep hole in the ground, and there was a damp patch that later hardened like concrete. Nearby plants withered and died, and soil samples showed a spike in calcium levels. On the morning of September 1st, 1974, a then 36-year-old farmer named Edwin Furr was out swathing his field near Langenburg. report confirmed the circles, and no signs of vehicles or people were found. Radiation levels in the area were unusually high, too. So while the crafts were long gone, what they left behind, the crop circle-like rings, were very real, and according to authorities again, there were no indications they'd been created by any human-made machinery. This next crater-related mystery comes to us from the moon. This strange image was shared by Scott Waring, and whatever this is, it sits between the Von Karman and Davison craters. If you're not familiar, Waring runs the blog UFO Sightings Daily, and has been digging into strange anomalies in space photos for years. Along with the image, he wrote, "I found this structure in the center of a crater on Earth's moon. The structure closely resembles a ship from the Transformers movie. The object is very shiny, more so than anything in its surrounding area, which tells me it's metallic." Waring went even further, saying, "I feel this craft may be still salvageable and possibly could be used to transport humans to other planets in the Milky Way," end quote. A pretty bold claim. I will say though, the object does have a kind of weird mechanical look to it. It's got angles and grooves that make it look different from the stuff around it. Is it just a rock with a cool shape? Maybe, but Waring sees more, and if he's right, I'd be pretty excited about it. In 2006, something amazing was discovered deep beneath the Marakwang crater in South Africa. This crater is huge, about 43.5 miles or 70 kilometers across, but it's completely buried under the desert sand, so most people don't even know it's there. When scientists drilled into the center of the crater more than 700 meters down, they found something no one expected. Pieces of the asteroid that caused the crater were still intact. That's rare. Usually, the heat and energy from an impact that size would vaporize the object completely, but that wasn't the case here, obviously. Some of the fragments were as big as beach balls. The discovery went completely against the idea that all impactors just disappear on contact. It means, under the right conditions, parts of these space rocks can actually make it through and get sealed inside the Earth. The Marakwang crater is estimated to be around 145 million years old, so finding fragments of the asteroid that created it, that's pretty incredible. The Popigai crater in Siberia is massive, about 62 miles or 100 kilometers wide. It's one of the largest impact craters on Earth. What makes it really interesting is what the impact left behind. When a giant space rock slammed into the Earth around 36 million years ago, it hit an area loaded with graphite, which is a form of carbon. The force and heat from the impact were so intense it turned that carbon into diamonds. They're called impact diamonds, and they're different from the ones used in jewelry. They're harder, more durable, and they're mostly used for industrial purposes. Trillions of carats are down there, making it one of the largest diamond deposits on Earth. For years, the Russian government kept the full extent of the deposit under wraps. Scientists didn't even fully explore the site until decades later. In 2023, scientists confirmed that a Bronze Age arrowhead found in Switzerland was made from metal that came from space. The arrowhead was found in the 1800s near Lake Biel, but it sat in storage until recently, when researchers decided to take a closer look. They found it had iron, nickel, and cobalt in ratios that don't match Earth rocks, but they do match meteorites. That alone was wild, but then they figured out something even more specific, that the metal probably came from the meteorite that created the Kali crater in Estonia. That crater is believed to have been formed around 1500 BCE, which lines up with the estimated age of the arrowhead. This means that over 3,000 years ago, someone somehow got their hands on a chunk of meteorite, shaped it into a weapon, and used it, possibly. It would have had to be forged and shaped with serious skill. At the time, iron wasn't commonly used, especially in this region, which makes it even more of an outlier. It's one of the rare times a weapon made from a meteorite has actually been found in Europe. The Vredefort Dome in South Africa is the largest known impact crater on Earth. It formed about 2 billion years ago when a massive asteroid slammed into the planet, creating a crater roughly 300 kilometers wide. Around the crater, archaeologists found ancient rock carvings made by the Khoisan people, who have lived in the area for thousands of years. These carvings show animals like hippos and rhinos, which hints that the place meant something important to the people who lived there. Maybe the crater wasn't just a physical landmark, but also a spiritual or cultural place for early humans. The carvings might even map out parts of the crater or mark its edges, showing how deeply connected the Khoisan word to the land and its history. In 1908, something huge exploded over a remote part of Siberia near the Tunguska River. It flattened about 2,000 square kilometers of forest, basically wiping out everything in its path. It was caused by a massive space rock that exploded in the sky. And years later, scientists digging around the area found tiny, almost microscopic spheres made of silicate and magnetite in the soil and tree resin nearby. These little beads are packed with nickel and other metals that aren't usually found in Earth's rocks, but are common in meteorites. And because the meteor never actually hit the ground intact, these spheres are some of the best physical evidence we have of what actually happened during the blast. Researchers carefully collected samples from multiple spots, and they confirmed the spheres came from the meteor's shockwave, melting and vaporizing material that then cooled into these tiny little metallic beads. With all that said though, I've been your host James, and I'll catch you, yes you specifically, in the next video.